and welcome to another RUNE Reviews. This time, I got a rogues gallery, as usual, of podcasters. We're going to talk about today the only movie that matters right now, Civil War, y'all. We're talking Civil War. And I will tell you, the first 5 minutes of this episode, we're going to be fairly vague. But we're lazy, not going to lie, and we don't feel like doing 2 reviews. So, the other half is going to be all spoilers. So y'all got y'all warning. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. I'm going to put it in the title. Don't y'all fucking complain to me about hearing spoilers. Because it's all in the title. First off, Sterling, what's good with you? Sterling from the Gaming and Then Some podcast. First time on the BAP. What's good, man?
I'm out here, yo. Like this is technically my second time because I did the Untitled interview.
Yeah.
This is my first time by myself.
Yeah, I was about to say, you solo dolo. Yeah, you solo dolo.
You know what I mean? Like when I was on the Untitled interview, that was like when NSYNC did Gone. But this is like seeing Justin Timberlake by himself. I think fly as shit, yeah. That's what it's like.
Where can they find the Gaming and Then Some podcast?
You can find us fucking everywhere. We are on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, RSS Radio, Beyond Pod. Anything that has an RSS feed, we out here. You can also just go to gatspod.com. That's GATSPOD.com. We out here.
And if you would, just explain a little bit about your show. And also, just to let everybody know, y'all should already be listening to them if you're not already.
You should. If you don't listen to me, you're racist. I'll tell you that right now. Gaming and Then Some is a weekly black podcast that covers games, tech, music, movies, everything we want to. It's me, my wife, my cousin Monique, and my homie Charles. We just talk about whatever we feel like. We cover news in a way that's understandable and relatable, so you don't have to be a nerd to understand what's coming out with the new iPhone or the new Android or in the new console or whatever. We make everything relatable and understandable because we're better than everybody else. That's what we do.
I agree with probably all of that. I agree with all that.
I understand. Yeah, you got to.
And next up, we got my girl Raven, new nerd in training. How about that?
I like that. Hey guys, it's Bing. I'm here. If you listen to this podcast, you probably listen to my podcast, so I'm not going to do too much. But if you want to find me on the internet, find me everywhere. This Zeta's a jerk.
No doubt. And is Feek Blurman around?
I'm trying. Hello?
Oh my, is that God?
Yo, I don't know. Oh, I guess I do know because I'm using the computer my wife usually uses for our podcast. The whole setup was like crazy, so it took me a second to figure out what was going on.
You're definitely not talking. You're definitely not talking through your mic. I know that much.
I am talking through my mic. Is that bad?
Absolutely, you're not talking through your mic.
You sound like Iron Man's conscience.
Yeah, you are not talking through your mic.
Okay.
Unplug your mic and plug it back in. It should be USB, so it should.
What about that?
Well, how about that? Well, goddamn. Anyway, Feek Blurman, what's good, man?
I don't know. I have no idea where I'm at right now. Kind of got lost in the beginning. So it's 2 things I want to talk about that are really important. First one is, first one's not that important.
Quick.
But I'm sitting in my Game of Thrones room, so I'm pretty happy about that.
That's disgusting.
It's not disgusting yet, but we're working on it. The second thing is really important. It's something that it happened a little while ago, and we never had a chance to talk about it. And I don't want to take up too much time, but I want to just take a moment to. So a couple of months back, Aaron and CY said that Batman vs Superman was going to be good.
We're going to do this, dog. We really going to do this, man.
They were really fucking wrong. And I didn't take enough time to gloat on how wrong they were and how right I was. So I apologize for that. I was right.
Yeah, all right. You got that one off. I can't even say nothing because the nigga, you were right. It was terrible. Anyway.
Right. I mean, it's all good though, yo, because literally now the Batman vs Superman jokes have stopped. Nobody's comparing that movie to anything anymore.
It'll come back around. I'm surprised they haven't put the Jordan face on the poster yet.
Oh no,
it's not coming back.
I'll be working on that. I'll be working on that tonight.
Nobody gonna pay attention, dog. If it ain't cry face on Apocalypse himself, it don't matter, yo. That movie, God, it burned. It burned before release. That's amazing.
Hey, Feek,
X-Men Apocalypse already?
Yeah,
what do you mean?
Yeah. I told you. Go look.
Yeah.
The reviews.
I've been seeing that.
Yeah, they were basically scared by Civil War, so they, instead of having the screener be Thursday, they moved the screener till today and lifted the review embargo from the day before release till 5 p.m. today.
Yeah.
So reviews are out, and even the positive reviews are saying it's bad.
It's a 41% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So I looked at it and said to myself, it's not quite looking right. It's just not. And, after doing Days of Future Past so well, in my opinion,
we're here to talk about happiness. Let's not.
Let's focus on the good.
Yeah,
let's focus on the good.
and go read the RUNE chat, Feek. When you get a chance.
How do I sound?
You good? You good? That's why we do sound checks.
Look, clearly that was not.
So,
Anyway, if you could, Raven, read off the synopsis for Civil War.
political interference with the Avengers' activities causes a rift between former allies Captain America and Iron Man with a runtime of 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's directed by Joe and Anthony Russo. It's starring Chris Evans as Captain America, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanoff or Black Widow, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, Don Cheadle as Lieutenant James Rhodes, Jeremy Renner as Clint Barton, Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, Paul Bettany as Vision, Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff or Scarlet Witch, Paul Rudd as Scott Lang or Ant-Man, Emily Van Camp as Sharon Carter, Tom Holland as Peter Parker, Daniel Bruhl as Zemo, and Frank Grillo as name has been deleted off the list.
Who the fuck is Frank Grillo?
He's
Crossbones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, as Crossbones. There you go.
So again, just to state, because I don't want any emails. We're gonna get 5 minutes of initial impressions, and then we're gonna go into spoilers. So I'm gonna start with you, Sterling. What did your initial impressions?
So everybody here, I'm guessing, has heard The Life of Pablo.
Mm-hmm.
How the woman sounded on Lowlights was me after the movie, just talking about Kevin Feige. I'm crying right now. It was amazing. They gave me a flute for Black Panther, and I don't know why they did that, but I don't know how I ever live without a flute behind every black person I ever see. It was amazing. I like that they made Iron Man basically all about Black Lives Matter in this movie. Everything was great, yo. The fight scenes were awesome. There's about 20 minutes of lull in the movie, but it's in the beginning, so you don't even care that it's there. Like, you feel like it should be there, because most movies take like 40 minutes to get to niggas dying, and it's just great. It's the best comic movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to go against that, but I do want to go to Raven. What did you think about the movie, being a first time, like, really getting into it, going to get to comic book type nerd?
It was, I don't know what's better than fucking amazing, but whatever it is, it was that. Like, usually I'm the type of person, I fall asleep in movie theaters. At the end of the movie, I was looking at my watch like, oh, bitch, that was really 2.5 hours. I usually, it was just completely great. Lots of great action, some really good ass acting. We'll get into my opinions later, but yeah, damn good movie.
I would go to Feek next, but I want to do my little gloating. They don't mess up, dog. They don't miss a shot at all. Marvel, this is the best comic book movie I've ever seen. And for anybody that knows me, they know that is a high praise. Because I don't like, I'm pretty harsh on comic book movies. Yeah, dog, I have no flaws in this movie. Like, the only flaw I could have would be such a nitpick that I would Avengers Initiative that shit and just cut it off. So yeah, it was an amazing movie. Feek, what did you think though?
Definitely amazing. I came out just happy and just warm.
Yeah.
Like I had taken a long hot bath, and then, well, hold up. How far can I go with this?
I mean, we're gonna have a spoiler section. This is just brief overview.
Oh no, I was talking about just how it made me feel, and I didn't want to didn't want to get out of.
Well, I just ate, so don't get into it.
I'll leave it at just it made me feel good on the inside.
Oh, I know what you're about to say. That's the
And so I'm just happy that this movie exists. I'm happy that I'm alive and at the age I am during this moment in time. And yeah, man, it was great. My only nitpick is that it unfortunately reminded me of how bad Batman vs Superman was.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
fair.
Yeah,
that's the worst thing. There's a couple other nitpicks I'll obviously get to, but
if we're
go ahead.
Yeah, if we're doing negatives, then I will say my two biggest negatives from this movie is it came out in May and not August, because there's no chance Suicide Squad, even if it's decent, is getting any love now. Like Civil War.
That was shady.
Yeah, like Civil War just did a control verse of fucking comic movies. Like, yo, you can't fight back against this shit. Like, it's done. They said it's done. I don't know. Like, it's going to do that thing where, like, you know, because we all love Winter Soldier and how everybody's like, there's never going to be a better movie than Winter Soldier. And now Civil War. So probably everybody's going to try to hate Doctor Strange out the gate because it's not Civil War. But between that and the fact that niggas got to understand that you can't get online after something this big hits the internet and not expect shit to be spoiled. Those are my two biggest issues with this movie. Is niggas feeling like the internet is for them. It's not.
I'm like halfway there. Like it's like you say, half measures. But nigga, it's just like not to open tonight. Like just not open tonight.
Because like I understand that. Like I won't talk. Like I won't spoil it without like hashtags or anything. Still like to this point or whatever. You know what I mean?
But you can't complain if you see a spoiler. I get that.
Not only that,
I go dark. I go dark whenever if I'm not seeing a movie open at night. I go dark until I see it.
Yeah, that's
because I don't want to accidentally see some shit.
Yeah, that's what I normally suggest. Or like you got to have your mute game like on 100. Like niggas just mute the hashtag Civil War. No,
That's not gonna do it.
You got to mute like man / hyphen man. You got to do Scott Lang. You got to do War Machine. You got to do misspelling, so it's like War Machine. Like you got to do everything. So it's not going to come through because like I did it for Daredevil and I didn't get any spoilers for Daredevil. But people just like, why are you spoiling? Like dog, it's the Super Bowl for nerds, nigga. We gonna talk about when a touchdown happens. This is it. Yeah. Like we won. We gonna talk about it. We can't. No, there's no decorum. Like this is Twitter. Twitter turned a fucking AI bot into a Nazi in less than 24 hours. But you want us to use hashtags for a goddamn movie? Are you out your mind? It's Twitter.
So with that being said, we are about to get into this spoiler section. I'll start it off. Nigga, that triple kick from Black Panther.
Dog, listen. So
hold on, which one was a triple kick?
That was the one he did to Cap in the airport.
Yeah.
The airport scene.
Airport scene was such a a visual orgasm that I don't remember the triple kick in particular.
I matter of fact, I'll just link it to you on Twitter because I made the gif of that shit. Like, it's fucking perfect. Like, I will say this: any niggas that fuck with Tekken, I need to interview Chadwick Boseman because I've known niggas that done this. Niggas will play a video.
He pulled like a Horang.
He did the hunting hawk. He literally did the hunting hawk kick. Horang.
What? And how did I miss that?
And I sat there and like I saw it the first time. But the second time I watched the movie, when they're at the, I believe they're outside like the consulate or some shit, and it's when Bucky fights T'Challa, and T'Challa's not in any gear. He's just like in his clothes and shit. He holds his leg like Orang does in Tekken. And I'm like...
I did see him pull, like, I do remember that one, where he like kicked at him, then took a step without dropping the leg.
Yeah, dog.
And then, that shit was done.
I feel like he was one of them niggas that really like Orang and Tekken, so he's like, I'm gonna learn how to actually do this shit.
Well,
because he does know martial arts, yo.
Yo, you talking to Feek, who was at one time ranked.
I was the number 9 Craig Marduk in Tekken on Xbox Live.
I mean, that's what needs to happen, yo.
You know, but last time I went on, I caught that. I won't talk about
the humbling is real, yeah.
Yeah.
So Raven, you mentioned the airport scene. I do want to talk about the airport scene, but let's start at the very beginning. Because the lead off for this movie, I don't think you could have had a better introduction to like where they're at now in the world.
Yes.
Like the way they introduced how each person worked with each other, it was like, I don't know, say what the X-Men would have done. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah. It was pretty perfect.
You mean like using teamwork?
Teamwork. Crazy, right? Crazy.
I don't know why you would do that in a movie.
We ain't gonna dog the X-Men too much more. But just from the everybody had their moment to shine. You know what I'm saying? Falcon had his spin kick like whatever that was. Mm-hmm. And then he had the 2 bombs fly up out of his
nigga the mortars. Like how?
Right.
Got the illest.
He's chilling with his wings on shield mode, and he might as well be scratching his balls while he's sending them shits out. Like he was just like, yeah, let me handle this real quick.
Like he really just got tired of shooting and was like, I'm just gonna blow these niggas up, and I really appreciated that.
And to me, it felt like Cap got some steroids or something, because That
when he kicked the car,
that nigga was strong. But
I was like, I don't know about this car kicking situation. That looks a little beyond Cap. But you know, I'll take it.
Nah,
it was awesome.
Go back and watch Winter Soldier. He opened up that movie by running through like 9 walls to tackle a nigga.
You know what?
That is true.
You're right.
Like that was that was some real shit on that ship. You remember he just like kind of bulleted into the water and shit. Like, yeah, dog. Yeah. Cap is on another one now. Yo, he got them training classes and shit.
So after the event that happens where Crossbone basically commits suicide, which was unexpected. I didn't expect.
Yeah, I was thinking Crossbone was going to be a much more prominent villain.
Yeah.
Than what he was. And I was a little disappointed at that. I don't know much about Crossbones, but I like that actor because he's the same guy from The Purge.
The Raid. I think the first one.
The Raid? No, he wasn't in The Raid.
He wasn't.
Well, I'm on his IMDb right now.
He's in The Purge. You're thinking of The Purge. The Raid is with the Asian dudes.
No, the first one there was a white one in that. A white dude in that first one.
There was a white dude in the Raid with the.
Yeah, not Raid Redemption. The first John.
Which Raid? No, the Raid Redemption is the first one.
Oh, it is. Oh yeah, Burned All or whatever is the second one. Hold on, I'm gonna do my Google.
We got a fact checker. Fact checker number 1.
Who am I looking at?
Frank Grillo. You can just click on his name. It should be.
Oh yeah, because I'm on the wrong page.
Exclusive. Frank Grillo discusses the Raid remake delays. The first thing that popped up. So I'm guessing if he discussed it, he would be in it.
Oh,
so.
It's a remake.
Yeah.
Okay, so I haven't seen. I didn't know there was a remake.
Yeah. It's the one that's literally just called The Raid.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to that. We're getting off subject.
It don't matter.
But the point is, I like that dude. He's dope.
The high key, they couldn't have brought him in the movie for that much longer because.
But there was no room for him. They did a perfect job of like pacing everybody's position and time in the movie.
Nah, I didn't mean that. I just mean Crossbones, the character, is incredibly racist.
Yeah, he's super.
Or is he?
Super racist. That's probably why they blew his ass up. He's super racist.
Because there's a little too much blackness in this movie to keep him around. Yo, they would have had to say something.
Yeah, if you read any of the new stuff or old stuff, but particularly some of the shit like him and Hawkeye. Hawkeye kind of
that's kind of why I really appreciated the meeting between him and Black Panther. And he's like, yo. You're new around here. My name's Clay. He's like, I don't care. You already know you're racist. Yo, you
don't care, my nigga.
So we'll get past that. So we talked about. We didn't talk about that. Anybody else?
Want
to talk about that scene? Yeah.
Just in the first fight scene, I never imagined watching Captain America fight with the shield could be so entertaining because it wasn't as good in the first movie. In Winter Soldier, they really stepped it up and really was like, no, we can really have fun with this. And in this one, they topped themselves. Because watching him just roll, toss the shield at niggas like some type of magic yo-yo, the sound it makes when it hits niggas is my favorite part.
Yo, like Spider-Man, like Spider-Man said, it really doesn't apply to the laws of physics. It just doesn't. Because not the first time he threw, but the second time he threw, when he was in the building in that opening scene, when it bounced off the floor, then the wall to hit nigga in the back of the head, I was like, bruh. I don't know how you did that. You're a mathematical genius. This shit is amazing.
But thank you. I appreciate that.
The action in the first scene alone, I just knew that this is about to be some shit. I mean, because it's one of those things where, it's hard to me to film an action scene when you're trying to do it in a crowd of people. You know what I mean? And it was just so easy to watch, what's her name? Black Widow, she was getting the niggas' asses.
Yeah.
I loved her fight scenes because they made so much sense. A lot of people try to do that, a woman's 90 pounds, but she can fight 300-pound niggas style, like Colombiana. And you see, she has to kind of gear up on everybody and keep momentum up to fuck people up. And it was dope because I think, Crossbones grabbed her and was like, no, that's it. You didn't have momentum. You can't fuck this dude up. He's wearing mad armor. And, what happened to her happened. And she had to, grip dude up in the tank to get herself out. But, I love that shit. The whole opening scene was dope. Fucking Thanos is in the opening scene. The actor that played Thanos is in the opening scene, and nobody knows because there's so much happening. He was, I believe, one of the niggas Natasha fucked up.
Oh, ain't that a bitch?
Yeah, he's a bald-ass black dude, so nobody knows what he looks like in real life.
No, he doesn't play Thanos.
Yeah.
No,
he's
Thanos is
Josh Brolin.
No, they called it, the actual actor, not the...
not the person that's going to do the makeup and shit.
Yeah, the face and shit.
Oh, the stuntman type deal?
Yeah,
okay.
Because they do that a bunch with Marvel. Like they even had Alfre Woodard in this movie. Like she's not going to be in Luke Cage later this year.
Yeah,
they just double up.
Yeah, they just dropped her in there real quick.
That kind of threw me. I was thinking that too. I was like, why is Alfre Woodard here? Why is this bothering me? Something's wrong.
They do it a lot. Like if you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., one of the main characters on that show was in the first Avengers movie when he should have been dead for like 60 years.
Yeah.
So hold on. That also reminds me, just in terms of like the shooting of the movie, is freaking. So my wife's biggest complaint of the movie was that she kept on spotting what part of Atlanta they filmed shit at. So like that first scene in Lagos, that's like by the fucking Georgia Dome. It's a big ass parking lot by the Georgia Dome.
I saw a lot of people talking about that, talking about how they recognize stuff. Like your building got blew up, but you still got to go to work on Tuesday.
Damn.
Yeah.
But I mean, that didn't bother me because the nigga ain't from Atlanta.
Yeah, me neither.
It didn't bother me. Like she's like, I kept noticing. I was like, baby, I didn't notice shit.
All you noticed was yeah. So we get over that initial like rough scene. The action in the kickoff for the action was stellar. Also, they got the directors of John Wick to do they're the second unit directors. So they directed all the action, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So we move on a little bit and we move on to a slow portion, which I think was needed. It was so much.
And it was good.
Yeah. It was so much that needed to be addressed that if they didn't have that slow part, we would have all been passed out by the end of the movie.
Yeah. No, we needed that. It was a good 20 minutes like exposition and telling you what happened while you felt like it was like you were already expecting. Like I said, normally with action movies, it takes like a good 30 to 40 minutes to get to niggas dying, and they gave it to you out the gate. So then when you had that 20 minutes, you didn't even care. It just pulled you right along. It hurt because I wasn't ready to see Peggy Carter die because I love her. But it was good as fuck.
And it's still, even at that point, it's still planting seeds. Because when Black Widow came up to him, she was like, I already knew that you're not going to sign. You know, so they're already building that relationship.
Hold on, let's not skip the technology. So we've seen this before, how they younged up.
Tony Stark.
His name? Yeah, I'm trying to say his real name. Robert Downey Jr. Even though he's more Tony Stark now than Robert Downey Jr. Like name another Robert Downey Jr. movie aside from
nobody cares
Ben
about
Stiller.
Yeah, it's just that nigga's Tony Stark now.
Yeah,
Tony Stank.
So
Tony Stank.
So like that the first time I saw that was in an X-Men, the shitty one, the shittiest one.
All of them?
All pretty bad.
The third one.
Oh well, yeah.
Oh, Last Stand, yeah.
Last Stand. They aren't all shit. We'll come back to that. We're gonna argue about that. I'm an X-Men defender. But not tonight. Not tonight.
People defend Bill Cosby too.
Oh shit. I can't even.
Dog, I throw nukes out the gate, yo.
Clearly. We'll come back to that. But first time I saw that was there, and it was weird, and it's still weird here, but it was like flawless. If it weren't for the fact that you had to know that was Robert Downey Jr.'s face, you wouldn't have really looked at it and said something's wrong. But I think they also were smart in not making him move a ton.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But they did it.
Because the thing is that like I'm young, so I don't really know what Robert Downey Jr. looked like before. Like I've always kind of known him like that. So I was looking at him like, is that fucking Robert Downey Jr.? Is that his face?
Yeah, he pretty much looked like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Was it Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
Yeah,
that was like his only other like big hit.
It was spot on because I was like, "Yo, is like Robert Downey Jr. like part black, yo?" Like, because that's immaculate aging. I thought it was just the beard. Like, the beard made that look older.
Yeah, I was about to say he shaved.
Yeah, okay.
Nigga shaved.
Speaking of older, Don Cheadle.
Oh, Don Cheadle had me like, yo, he can't. He got to die in Infinity War because
they got to put another nigga in this War Machine suit.
Dog, he getting old, and like I just felt that sweat, yo, like. His hair just gray. I'm like, yo, you looking like...
Especially when he was in physical therapy. I'm like, oh, okay.
That should look legit. Yo. He look like
that's an excuse to take his ass out the War Machine suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta be.
I'm missing Terrence Howard now. I don't know what it was, but I always felt like Terrence Howard was probably a better roadie anyway.
Nah, man.
Nah, man.
Don Cheadle.
I don't need to see War Machine and Iron Man.
Hey,
I can't. No, hold on. Don Cheadle don't seem like he got any white friends.
Wait. Time out. Nigga, did you just say Iron Man?
Iron Man.
I can't fuck with you, dog. We got to move on because that was goddamn it. So yeah, they aged down Tony, which again the special effects in this movie continue to be the standard for comic book movies. So we move on. Let's just get to the action. Let's not get really on exposition because we only got like half an hour. So
we have a special guest coming, by the way. I'm on the podcast. Can you go back to bed? Aren't you supposed to be in bed? I'll be right back.
All right. So little man. So we move on and we get to the point to where you see Black Panther for the first time, and I'm not gonna lie. Being the type of comic book fan I am, dog, it almost got a little dusty in there, man.
It did. No, it did.
Like,
yeah.
It almost. I was on the verge, dog, because they did it. Even the intro was just so right.
Dog, I had to watch the movie again because that's when I realized when they intro him, that's when the first time you hear that flute.
Oh, man.
I didn't even notice.
Neither did I. The first time I noticed was when he was on the back of the Audi and shit. When like Cap looks in the mirror, like you see him and they play that flute, but like that flute's there like 6 times through the movie, yo.
All right, so
it took everything in me not to just scream his name. He is so beautiful, Chadwick Boseman. Yes.
And was it like Dwayne?
He put on a little bit of weight. With the muscles.
All right, so let me go ahead and spark the fire. So let me preface this by saying I am not a person who is big on Black Panther's lore throughout like my childhood. So I don't have the same emotional connection to him, and I don't have the same true understanding of his character. But my perception of his character is that he's a very stern, like reserved but passionate figure, and I think that's what Bosa was trying to do. But to me, it was kind of a mixed bag. The physicality of Panther, and just like you could tell that he was the one person out of the group of not just actors but characters that didn't lift weights. You know what I'm saying? Like when he got on the screen, it was like, no, that nigga can sprint. And
he's supposed to be nimble, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And
that's what I'm saying. So that was good. That was a good part. But really, just a couple of moments where I was like, he's trying to get across a very cold, calculated, get shit. I'm about to fuck niggas up attitude, and I didn't fully catch him. Like the last scene in particular when he talked about I'm not gonna live for revenge.
Just me too.
Yeah, I didn't believe him there. I was like, were you really?
I did, yo. That shit was all perfect to me. Like this nigga made his own accent for Wakanda. I love
I fuck with that.
I loved everything about this nigga. Like I need to pull up the fucking audio, but the moment when they're like him, Falcon and Cap are in the transit, and he's just telling Cap like, yes, I'm gonna kill your mans in front of you, and you can't do shit about it, was so fucking powerful. Because you could just see, like, if there was a moment that a nigga needed the Jordan cry face, it was that moment when they pan back to Cap. Because he's like, yeah, you right, I can't stop you, nigga. You gonna fucking kill him. Because, like, to me, he didn't portray, like, being stoic or anything. Because, like, when you first see him and T'Chaka, there's just so much black love on the screen. You can see they really care for each other. So it just seems like, he's just there to be his father.
T'Chaka's African dad face. Oh,
yeah.
my God.
I think that he's not trying to come across as stoic. Just to me, he just seems so, I don't want to say unimpressed, but just so uninvolved. Like, he just came in here like, overall, this is y'all shit. He killed my daddy. That's why I'm here. But whatever fuck shit y'all relationship is going through, that's not my problem. I'm just here to kill this nigga and go home.
It seemed like just pure vengeance to me. Like,
and I know all those things, but that's not what this is just my perception. That's not what I fully, like, I was only like 73% there with him getting that across on the screen. And that's all I'm saying.
So this is the thing. Go back. Don't read certain portions of the Priest run because that shit has some problematic shit in it. Or just read Coach's run right now because he's doing a real good job. Mm-hmm. And Bendis did a good job with Panther too. But he's arrogant. Like, Panther is arrogant as fuck. Like, when he comes, he doesn't care about anything except Wakanda and making sure.
No, just Wakanda. Like, that's the thing. Like, honestly, Black Panther in this movie is a different kind of Black Panther than we've seen in the comics.
Right.
Because normally in the comics, when you're Black Panther, you are king. Like, it's a I think called like the Panther Trials or some shit. Yeah. Like, they fight each other, and then whoever wins is the Black Panther. So that person also rules Wakanda. And now you can see like T'Chaka's king, but he is already the Black Panther and shit. It was really, really interesting to see how he handled everything. Like them even talking about like the lore of the Panther God and what happens after you die, and him basically saying like, I'm not that nigga.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna clap.
So this is my thing, and let's kind of move on a little bit. We could spend all day talking about Black Panther, but we're going to get into that fight scene. But right before the fight scene, the chase scene, the fight scene that turned into a chase scene that was like 20 minutes long. Anyway, Black Panther says something that's really smart and impactful, and you don't really pay attention to the first time. He says, when he's talking to Black Widow, I am not my father. Mm-hmm. And he says that powerfully, like, look, my father was about this peace. I'm about these hands. And you about to see him. And if you notice, every Avenger just looks at him like, well, fuck, we can't stop him. Like, if like Captain America had said that to Black Widow, she would have tried to talk him out of it. Mm-hmm. Nobody
like
says,
she knew like you just can't like you can't even see that initial scene where he's sitting down after the blast because she tries to walk up and console him, and then she pulls back like, oh no, I cannot get that close to him. Like, let me sit on this other bench and talk to the Black man before he snaps my neck. Yeah, and that shit was real as fuck.
So, but we move on. Captain America finds Bucky. Bucky's living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Looks like a loft or some shit. Like he ain't never. You got some pork and beans on the stove or some shit. And then they proceed to have one of the longest fights in the movie. What did y'all feel about this action scene compared to the first one? Because that's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to compare action scenes.
I fucks with Bucky's actor pretty tough for his portrayal of Bucky.
Yeah,
because I wasn't like, to me, Bucky was a kind of a very not underdeveloped character in Winter Soldier. He was always like dope to see on screen because he was Bucky. But like in this, like I think he was probably the best played character in the movie. In that, like, he really got across his sense of like nothingness at the same time, like sorrow for his past, all those things. I think he did a really great job.
What about you, Raven? What did you think about this scene compared to the previous fight scene?
I preferred the previous fight scene. I just like, I don't want to say a lot of chaos, but to me, it's like when I watch the same two people fight, after a while, I don't want to say it starts to lose my interest, but I was just kind of like, okay. Because I think it was, because you did say it was the longest one, right?
The airport scene is longest. It's 20 minutes. Oh, it's 17 minutes.
Yeah, it was cool. I did like it. Like, I mean, during the scene, like Feek said, I do think that the guy who played Bucky did feel really good, because for half a second I felt bad for him. Like, it was just one of those, damn, that's fucked up type of things. And then it leads into this big old long chase, and then they find out about the Black Panther and everything like that. So I know why it was integral, but to me, it just wasn't my favorite one.
What about you, Juan?
It was one of my favorite, dog. Never give niggas in Marvel hallways. It's going to end up bad for everybody.
Daredevil?
Mm-hmm. Daredevil again.
Yeah, Daredevil again.
And then this shit, yo. Like, it was so real. Like, the way Bucky knew that Cap was basically invincible as these niggas, so he was using him as a weapon against him, just throwing him at people, because he knew, like, yo, you're going to take him out, and I'm just going to keep pushing and shit. And going down that whole stairwell, even to the point where he just jumped and then gripped on the joint, almost ripped his arm off and shit, was amazing. Then, thinking he got away and just seeing a shadow come up behind him and fuck his ass up. And then, get shot at by a helicopter.
He got fucked. Every time he met Panther gave him the
hand.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, Bucky hit him a couple times during the airport fight scene, but it was like, nah, dog. He just don't care. Like, even when he was getting hit, he was bouncing right back and shit, like going into different poses. Like, he got like hit by the 50 cal like machine gun on the jet. He ain't care, dog. And then to go down into the tunnel and shit, and start having that chase scene where it's Bucky running from Panther, and Panther is just, he don't even give a fuck that Cap's behind him, and Cap understands that he's so slow he can't catch these niggas, so he just jumps on a car to stop that shit and commandeers it. And then, like, Panther, just being mad logical, is like, okay, that's now going faster, so I'm going to get on that. And he just jumps on Audi, then jumps on Falcon, then jumps on Bucky. And then this nigga Bucky still
Time out. I wanted to talk about the fact that nigga grabbed a motorcycle with one arm.
My nigga.
Spun it around and jumped on it.
That the way that nigga like that shit was up there with me with Dark Knight, the second Batman movie, when he fucking took the bat pot up the wall after fucking Joker up. Like, you just kind of had to stand up in the theater like, yo, I didn't know we could do that in the movie. I thought that nigga was dead. Like, whoever was on that motorcycle is in two halves now or some shit. Like, that was amazing, yo.
So we move on a little bit. We find out that the Black Panther is also King T'Challa at the time. Well, newly crowned King T'Challa. They move him back into the Shield / I guess not Shield, but Avengers facility. And then from there, shit just goes downhill, man. Like, I want to give y'all go over what y'all best moments from this point into the end of the movie, because we're kind of running short on time. So I'll start with you, Woon, and just give me like some of your highlights, and of course we can chime in, but some of your highlights about what happened
from that scene forward.
Yes, from the time he broke out, then on.
I would have to say, seeing Zemo and seeing how crazy this nigga was one of the first highlights for me, because obviously Zemo looks way different in the comics, but I do think that we actually saw what Zemo looks like. Like, I talked about it a little bit when our review comes out, but I don't think that was Zemo's actual face and shit, and they kind of hint towards that when they talk about Bucky and him basically somehow looking like the Doctor, but we never see him looking like the Doctor. So I thought that was dope. Tom Holland is a godsend, and that's my only Spider-Man now.
He was
a good ass Spider-Man.
I loved it because
I cannot wait for Spider-Man. I have not been really overly excited for any Spider-Man movie, and I like Spider-Man. It's not a Spider-Man thing. It's just then none of them have looked all that great to me. The first two are pretty good, you know.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, Maguire was pretty good.
Raimi was a piece of shit as a director. The first three movies were shit. I'll never let anybody forget that in the second Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man gets saved by an Asian baby because he can't Spider-Man. Never forget that shit. That happened in the fucking Hero movie. And Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 were okay, but the nigga that played Peter Parker was 30 years old. And I let that slide until I saw what a teenager playing Peter Parker looks like. And in that one instance, when they're in the bedroom talking, he's like, what do I call you? Spiderling? Spider-Boy? And the way he says Spider-Man, I'm like, yo, that's fucking Spider-Man. Like, that nigga Spider-Man in real life now. Like, that's fucking awesome. I love that shit. And I also love Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, because I see she's been getting a lot of flack online for...
Yeah, I think that was dope. I think it's funny because all the Spider-Mans have technically been the same age.
Yeah.
But by making her younger...
But they didn't,
also made him younger.
They didn't make her younger, and that's the thing people forget. Yeah. Fucking Marissa Tomei's 51 years old.
Well, I mean, like, not so much making her younger, like
she just doesn't have gray hair.
Making the character Aunt May younger.
Aunt May, not an old spinster woman.
Yeah, like she just doesn't have gray hair, but like she's still the age an aunt should be and shit. And I really appreciate that. Like I've been seeing like some weird things online. I'm like, I really don't get it. Like, this is what a woman at 51 years old looks like. Like, because of Hollywood, you can only be like 29 and hot, or you have to be old as shit. So giving just a woman that looks her age the role made a lot of sense to me. The airport scene was everything. Fucking Giant Man was on my screen.
Hold on, let's move to some other people too. Because
he said everything I need.
I was about to say we're gonna talk about everything.
Let's get to the airport scene, son.
What, Raven? Did you have anything before the airport scene that caught your eye? Because
I don't remember if it was before the airport scene or not. But when Black Panther came out with his bald bad bitch, and she was about to fuck Black Widow up,
nigga,
greatest moment of the movie.
Hold on. Y'all don't understand how important that was to the overall. Like, when I saw that, I stood. I had to sit down because I was there. I was about to stand up. Like, God damn it, yeah. She was like,
she walked out and she said, "Bitch, move or get moved." I'm in the movie theater, like, yes.
And see, that's where Black Panther comes in at. Because Black Panther, that's something arrogant he would say in the comic book. He said, "As much as I would like to see that happen."
As entertaining as that would be.
Yes, entertaining.
And don't she actually, not her in particular, but doesn't Black Widow get into a fight with Dora Milaje?
Dora Milaje, I believe.
Yeah, Dora Milaje. Don't she get fucked up in the actual comics once by them?
Probably.
I can't remember.
Like, honestly, she probably does, because that's probably why they put it in there. The same way in Age of Ultron, when everybody's doing the contest, picking up the hammer, she doesn't pick it up because she's like, I don't need to know how that goes because she did become Thor in the comics at one point. Like, they always do small shit like that.
Yeah. So yeah, Dora Milaje when she's, I'm really hoping that's Shuri, and we just don't know.
I don't think that's Shuri.
I don't think it
Shuri
is
would
either.
have, if Shuri's the character that I understand her to be, she definitely have more fanfare. That would be kind of whack if you think about it.
Well, I mean, the only reason I say that is because she was so close to the Black Panther, and she said it with such force. But that could be any Dora Milaje.
That was just her body. That was just nigga's bodyguard.
Yeah, that could just be any Dora Milaje.
My favorite thing about that whole scene is before Black Panther even talks, and he just looks at homegirl like, "Come on, yo, I know you can," and I want to see you do it. But we not supposed to be fucking up white people right now. Like, I know
He's sitting there just like, nigga, as tempting as this shit is.
He's like, I know you just listened to him for the 50th time, but do not fuck up Becky with the good hair, yo. Don't do it.
Hey, can we?
It was so perfect. Just that small side of like, yo, that's a straight black love. He's like, yeah, I know it, yo, but don't do this shit.
Can we talk about how fine the shit she was, dog?
She was brick
That
house.
skirt.
That's how you supposed to look. If you are a female, I want to be rich enough. And I said this before I even knew who the Dora Milaje were, that I wanted to have beautiful female bodyguards. If I ever get rich, that's what I want. I want to get all the baddest chicks in MMA to just protect me for no reason.
Didn't they terrorists do that? Didn't Osama do that?
No, it wasn't Osama.
Nobody
It was
did.
Might have been Saddam.
No, Gaddafi had a prime.
Yeah, Gaddafi
had an all-female
yeah.
security staff. Anyway, so let's get to the main portion, or the main two items. This airport scene, and I told Feek in the chat. I don't know if he saw it because he went black, but I said this is the greatest action scene I've ever seen in any comic book movie ever.
Dog is so good, yo.
It was so engaging.
We got the Black Panther flute again, so that was also a plus for me.
Hey, giving out these hands every time you looked at Black Panther, he was fucking somebody up.
Oh, it was so good, yo.
We got Giant Man. When he said I got something else, I was like, oh no, they're not doing that.
Dog,
I didn't even see that coming.
Neither did
What
I.
is Ant-Man about to do?
Because I stayed away from spoilers because, like, my homie Charles, he ruined it for himself. Because, like, he's stupid, so he got a kid and shit.
Oh,
so
the toys.
He was in the toy section in the Lego Civil War set had Giant Man in it and shit. So he got...
Damn.
And somebody else did, like, a month before the movie. Like, the pop toy came out for Ant-Man and it was Giant Man and shit. I didn't see it coming, and I loved it. But I loved it for multiple reasons. Not really being that it was Giant Man. One of the biggest reasons being because I got to realize this was a Disney movie. Because when he gets that big, I'm like, yo, the smartest thing to do to take this nigga down is have Spider-Man fuck him up like he's an AT-AT in the Battle of Hoth in Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, but they can't say that. They have to do that, but they're not going to say it. And then Spider-Man's like, yo, we should do it like that old movie Empire Strikes Back. I'm like, holy shit, wait, these are both Marvel properties. I mean, these are both Disney properties. You can do that now. Like, it makes the movie even more realistic in our life because we got to see something that's from our reality in their reality, which was fucking amazing.
And that's something that they would say.
Yeah, it makes sense because you would see it in a comic. So not seeing it in the movie wouldn't make sense. And then the fact that they did that in this movie, so there's going to be some wild shit in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Right. If they let this go in Civil War, what the fuck do they have ready for Ant-Man and the Wasp? What?
And it was so well. Like, I love how slow for no reason.
Yes. Yeah, I was just about to say that. The fact that they slowed his actions down for no fucking reason at all, other than to say, hey, this is a comic book. Bravo.
Look how big this motherfucker is.
That shit was amazing. And Vision going through him and him just screaming something went inside of me was so fucking perfect, yo.
And low key, Spider-Man is the strongest character out of the whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
And he really he kind of don't know it. So when he's fighting Bucky and
dude, you have a metal arm? That is awesome.
Falcon was like, yo, dog, we really don't usually talk this much.
Dog, like, Falcon got to concentrate. This is just some shit for fucking Peter. He's like, all right, yo, you need me? I can
the
get
best part of the whole scene was, my name is Clint. I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care.
It was, and then actually, let's stick here for a second. So never mind then what I was about to say.
No, we can kind of wrap up just to say that.
So the aftermath then, when they're stuck in. So I think Ant-Man is low-key my favorite Avenger, and I'm more, aside from Spider-Man, I think I'm most excited for Ant-Man and the Wasp than anything else because that's just more my type of movie. Of all the Avengers movies that can be made. And they're like, you don't realize that they're doing this amazing job. Like now the Marvel movies have become not one movie. Like you get high-end fantasy with Thor, you get Jason Bourne with Captain America, you get wild shit with Guardians of the Galaxy, and then Ant-Man is going to be like a buddy comedy, is what I'm hearing. And like that's I love them shits, and so I'm so looking forward to that. And so I'm sorry, I said to say Scott Lang when he's like trying to like say shit to to Iron Man, and he's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "Oh, come on."
Yeah, he said he's like King Tim Cole.
It just walked right past his ass.
Walked right past his ass.
If you're not reading the Scott Lang Ant-Man comic book, you got to get on that.
Oh shit! I forgot to actually pick that shit
dog,
up.
It's
it's been over a year now. I still ain't read that shit.
It's funny as hell, dog. Like funny, like laugh out loud reading the comic book. Funny. I'll see if I can grab you a couple issues, Feet. But then we get to the climax. So we get to the climax. Some shit has happened. We don't want to ruin everything for y'all. Some shit happens, and then at the end, Tony.
So wait, we not going to talk about the biggest moment of this fucking movie?
Yeah, I mean, it's
because we're spoiling shit.
Yeah,
so
this is my main thing.
Go ahead.
All right, so
I'm only saying that because I only got like 10 minutes.
Okay, so I'll be quick. Here's where I was mad at myself for being stuck thinking about, even for a second, Batman versus Superman. Because, first off, I didn't see that coming. And they gave us plenty of hints, and I didn't see it.
They gave you hints in the prior movie. Mm-hmm. And I realized that when... who's the nigga that was in the computer that he was talking to in Winter Soldier?
Arnoff.
That nigga. So when they're talking, he's like, there's no way you could do all these, like, you know, have all this control over the last 50 years. And he says accidents happen. At that time, on the screen, when he says that, the newspaper of showing that Howard and his wife died in an accident pops up. Like, he told you then that this nigga killed him. It was fucking... Which means, you know, because Cap ain't stupid, he probably knew since Winter Soldier. So Cap is just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, a little bit there as well. But just, so my point is that the thing that BVS failed so miserably at that this didn't was so I thought I was going to be like easily like, nigga, Captain America, shut the fuck up, or Iron Man, shut the fuck up. But like, they both had enough of a decent argument that it didn't take me out. And then at the end, like, I'm rooting for Cap. I'm rooting for Iron Man. I'm like, yo, kill this dude. You can't let this, like, I completely rock with you. You can't let this side. At the same time, like, Cap, you got to stop this nigga, because if he kills this dude, he's going to fuck him up even more. He's going to become drunk Tony Stark from the comics. And like, I was so emotionally invested. I haven't been so as emotionally invested in a highly choreographed fight really ever. And the last time I remember responding to a fight like that was when I first saw The Empire Strikes Back. Return of the Jedi. The last scene of that.
I was definitely conflicted watching the movie. Like, overall, I think Bucky should have died for a completely different reason. I feel like if all I gotta say is bippity boppity boop and you turn into the fucking Manchurian candidate, you gotta die. Personally. Like, but I mean, because I was on both sides. Like, I'm like, I understand that Captain America is right. He didn't do it and he's in the middle of being framed, but the nigga's dangerous and he gotta die, and putting him into the deep freezer in Wakanda ain't gonna change that.
Yeah. No, it might. It honestly will. Like, Wakanda is the most technologically advanced place on Earth. So they could probably fix that nigga.
Sounds great.
Yeah,
but...
Nah, like,
it literally was bippity. That nigga said homecoming, fossils, grapes, itis.
This nigga sung the Fairly Odd Parents theme song, and my boy was ready to tear the shit down. Like, it's cool.
Is like I don't blame Bucky for that shit, because Bucky knew. Bucky told them niggas. Yeah. Bucky was okay with dying. That was all on Cap's head. Like, when them niggas come in the beginning, like in the first fight scene or the second fight scene in the movie, when he talks about it, he says like they're coming to kill you. He's like, that's probably for the best. Like, he knows. But Cap is, you know, a bitch ass nigga. So
thank you.
Y'all really think Cap was a bitch ass nigga?
Yo. This is the reason why he did. The reason why he was going so hard is because that was his friend. If that was just some other nigga, he wouldn't give a fuck.
But that's how it's supposed to work. Like, I really.
If you kill another nigga's parents, I'm probably going to let you die.
But
Sorry,
it's not,
but you gotta let it go.
So
At
two
least let you
things.
get fucked up.
So he definitely got fucked up. But two things. One, Cap. I was with Cap more than Iron Man, which is odd because I came in thinking Cap was fucking crazy. But I'm thinking to myself, these niggas saved the world like 4 times. Fuck you. Let me do my thing. Like, that's number one. Number two, you got to remember, like, that's all Cap got in the world, especially that Peggy Carter just died. You know what I'm saying?
To hear that, my nigga.
So
That's really because out of nowhere he just kisses Sharon Carter.
that was a little weird. But,
Yeah.
I mean, he had been...
You're banging your niece, so there's that.
I think it was implied that they had been kind of talking beforehand.
Nah, I don't think it was, yo, because
She was watching them the last movie in Civil. I mean,
Yeah. He said that took a little long, didn't it?
Yeah,
that was his line, which I got.
Like,
Yeah, it
can we
was
at least
weird.
get him to hold hands, because like I realized it when I talked about it when our review comes out on Tuesday and shit. But like, you know, they talk about it in the last Captain America when he's talking to Widow. He's like, "Yo, you never kissed anybody, have you?" So it kind of like looking back on watching, it looks like he doesn't know how to kiss a person, so he kisses her like that. But the first time I saw it, it was just mad jarring. Like, nigga, you could have just went for a handshake. Like, she was just giving you a shield. Why did you do that?
It was weird. I will say that. It
I
wasn't
think
really.
it was meant to be.
Yeah, it wasn't really kind of needed. I didn't really get a chance to speak on this portion of it, but I'll just agree with you. I'll say I was torn either way. I didn't have a side. I just wanted my heroes to stop fighting.
Tearing his family apart, Bobby.
And he basically said that. He said, "You're tearing the Avengers apart," because to Tony, this is his only family. You know what I'm saying? So
when Tony said, "I don't care," he killed my mom. I was like,
He
"Shit,
killed my
yeah, you gotta
mom.
kill him.
Yeah.
You gotta kill that."
So
nigga.
we want to go around the room. Final thoughts and let's kind of make it brief about the overall thoughts of the movie. I'll just say that we went to Wakanda. That's all I got to say, dog. We went to Wakanda. Nothing else will beat that. We went to Wakanda. I'm good. Best comic book movie I've ever seen. What about you, Wong?
Yeah, we not only went to Wakanda, we saw the fucking statue and we saw a Wakandan jet. Just because fuck y'all, we get to do that. It was overall an amazing movie. I love that they brought in Tom Holland and Scott Lang, fucking Paul Rudd, to like bring comedy to this.
Yeah. Raven, final thoughts.
The last words of this movie was a message to all the other comic books. You want to try and come for the crown? Let them try.
Absolutely. What about you, Feek?
Yeah, I guess I'll piggyback off that. The shade of Marvel to spread their movies like across like 4 or 5 months, but drop this shit a month after Batman versus Superman and a month before Apocalypse, just to kind of like it was just wrong. It's like the really, really bad chick that just steps in front of the 2 eyes chicks and it's like, oh, we just gonna hang out. Let's just go to the club together. It's like, nah, bitch, I ain't going to you. You gonna get all the dudes.
No doubt.
Okay.
Y'all can hear me this time?
Yeah.
All right, word. That's amazing because I could hear y'all all the time. I don't know what the fuck happened. Skype is racist, I guess.
So while we have everybody online, I did want to thank Sterling from Gaming and Then Some Podcast for coming and hanging out. Always a pleasure and a good time. We got to get you on the main show. I know I've been saying it for a long time, but we're going to make that happen within the next month, man.
Word.
So this has been another episode of the RUNE Reviews. I don't give a fuck about any of y'all ratings because to me, this is 11 out of 10. It don't really matter what the rest of y'all say.
This is 6 Panther Gods out of 5 right now. You know,
It is the first official movie that I'm giving an Avengers Initiative to.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that don't know what Avengers Initiative is, can't really say nothing bad about this movie in front of me, dog. Like,
I will straight ignore it.
yeah, I'm just
Pretty much the
the
Beyonce of comic book movies at this point.
oh.
Dude, we're the A hive, M hive.
No, none of that.
Let's not reach for it.
Yeah, let's not do that.
No, we have to. That's what I do.
Okay.
So we're
I'll bring it to the next show.
Sterling, where can they find you at?
You can find me at gamingandthensome.com, gatspod.com. If you want to keep it short, it's GATSPOD. Just search Gaming and Then Some on any of your podcast catchers, iTunes, Stitcher, whatever. You can find me on Twitter at The Wound God. That's TheWoundGod. And you can also catch me in DC on June 4th at AwesomeCon hosting a panel with Chris from MTR, Rod and Karen from Black Eye Tips, Deepom from Dude You Crazy, and Justin from Three Fist Podcast, ruining your childhoods.
Yep. And I will be in the audience. So if y'all want to meet me, I'll be there as well.
Lit.
I just didn't tell y'all niggas. So until next time, we'll catch y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.